like whoever wants. Yeah. You're also directly behind this pulled up the side.
All right. All right, welcome everyone. We are here in front of the Citibank headquarters in New York City. As soon as you tune in, smash the like button, share the stream, let everybody know that we're live. As you can see, it's cold and windy here.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
City, city, you can't hide.
City, city, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
City, city, you can't hide.
City, city, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Thank you everyone for coming out. Our first speaker for today that we are honored to join us is the creator of the Fight Money with Money campaign, Sister Serena. Please give her a warm welcome.
Hi everyone. I'm gonna face you guys because I want to thank you all for coming out. This is really important action. I just want to kind of touch and briefly highlight why. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why we're choosing Citibank in this particular campaign. So Fight Money with Money was initially established to acknowledge we are in the capitalist system and our money is our vote at this point. Our politicians aren't listening, so I wanted to encourage folks to invest wisely or divest wisely. So that means taking money out of big corporate banks that are heavily invested in fossil fuels, heavily invested in conflicts around the world, particularly against the Palestinians, particularly against the Haitians. And we're going to start with Citibank, but we're not going to end with Citibank. We're going to keep going. As far as Citibank is concerned, I wrote this long kind of speech, but at the end of the day, Citibank is complicit. They provided the loan. According to a 2023 congressional report, they provided a loan to allow the Israeli military to buy F-35s. The F-35 planes that are currently bombing Gaza right now, Citibank supplied the financial tools to allow that loan to go through. And shame. And on top of that, your taxpayer dollars, every single one of you here who pays taxpayer dollars, is going to Citibank in two ways. The 2023 congressional report states that the state of Israel is supposed to pay the interest on that loan. Where does the interest money come from? Your taxpayer dollars. The United States Department of Defense is supposed to pay the principal on that loan. Where does that money come from? Your taxpayer dollars. So Citibank is benefiting in two ways from the American taxpayer. Not just not just being complicit in providing this loan, in many other ways. They're actually taking these funds and investing in the startup and tech washing of Tel Aviv. Let me explain why really quickly, because I think this is really important, and I think a lot of people don't know what Citibank is complicit in. When we talk about tech washing, we're talking about this bank is investing millions and millions of dollars into AI, cybersecurity, and fintech companies, startup companies that are using the Palestinian population as guinea pigs. Shame. And what I mean by that is they are actually developing this AI technology. They're developing the cybersecurity tools to spy and beta test on the Palestinians in the West Bank and in Gaza, and then they turn around and sell those technologies to the United States, to sell them into law enforcement agencies here in your backyard. So shame. They are actually not only directly investing in the military, but they're allowing for these cybersecurity companies to turn around and profit off of the Palestinians, using them again as guinea pigs. Shame. So I just want to, before I end this, I want everyone to take out your phones. I know you have them. I know you're holding signs. but I want you to take out your phones because I think it's really important. Not only do we attend these protests, and I want you to take this with you at all the protests that you go to, but when you go to protests, it's really important that we carry out a direct action. It's great that you're here, but let's do something while we're here. And so a few weeks ago, or last week, we launched the digital campaign where we were tweeting and calling out Citibank. I want us to all get out our phones and we're going to carry out a direct action right now. If you got the handout, the flyer that Abdullah's holding up here, there's a QR code. You can scan that, or you can go to empowerchange.org/Citibank Gaza. And I'm going to give you a minute, but again, taking direct action while we're all here, while we're unified, is really important. So every protest that you go to moving forward, encourage direct action right there on the spot. We might as well. We're together, right? We're all in this together. Yes. So take out your phones. Let me know when you have the website up. empowerchange.org/Citibank Gaza. empowerchange.org/Citibank Gaza. Now what I want you to do is to choose. There are 3 options there. In this digital campaign that we launched, we gave you guys 3 options. Empower made it so easy for everyone to either tweet, email, or call. I want you now to either tweet or email, and if you've already done it, do it again. Because we want to reach 10,000 tweets. We want to shame Citibank on Twitter live publicly. We want the public to know what Citibank is complicit in. So once you've tweeted or you've emailed, I want you to turn on the flashlight on your phone and hold it up. Because I'm not gonna leave this spot until I see this crowd full of lights. I want to see the crowd full of light. So when you're done, hold up your flashlight, and then we will say a chant. But for now, I want you to hold up your flashlight. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's right. Hold it up. Free, free? Palestine. Free, free? Palestine. All right. Let's see. Let's see more light. We are a crowd of light. Let's see it. Let's see it. Hold it up. There you go. There you go. All right. There's a few of you in the back. I'm waiting on you. I'm not going to leave this stage until you've lit it up back there. Light it up. All right. Yes. There we go. Did everybody tweet? Yeah. Did everybody email? Yeah. When you get home, are you going to call? Yeah. And when you are done with all 3 of those actions, what are you going to do next? You're going to send it to 5 people, 10 people, 20 people that you know. I know you're all in WhatsApp groups with your aunties and uncles and whomever. Send it to them. They're just sitting on the couch. Make them do something. We want to get to 10,000 tweets. We want Citibank and we want everyone in the public to know what they are complicit in. All right? Let's see it again. Hold up. Hold it up. Free, free? Palestine. Free, free? Palestine. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Please give a huge round of applause to Serena. Free, free? Palestine. Free, free? Palestine. City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
You support genocide.
You support genocide.
City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
You support genocide.
You support genocide.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Please welcome our next speaker for today, New York Communities for Change leader, Rachel Rivera.
Yeah, Rachel.
Hey, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. My name again is Rachel Rivera. I am a leader for New York Communities for Change. Thank you. I am also a New Yorker. I am a Puerto Rican. I am Taína. To Chalasari. I am also a mother of 6. I am a climate activist. I stand here today in solidarity to say to Citibank, no more funding for the genocide in Palestine. Ooh. Okay, I can move this way. I have been a climate activist since Hurricane Sandy in 2012. During the storm, my daughter almost died when the ceiling caved in into her bed. We had to leave our home, our lives, and live in a shelter. Our lives changed from that day forward.
What does that have to do with Israel?
Give it a moment. Let me get to it.
You gonna get there? You gonna get there? You gonna get there?
She still lives with the trauma today.
Right. Bye, Hamas. Bye.
With that trauma today. I lost people because of Hurricane Maria during the storm. And my island went dark. I couldn't reach to my family. I didn't know if they were alive or not. When I see the Israel military genocide Gaza, my heart breaks. So we have people like that moron that's behind us that doesn't know shit that's going on with Citibank. So like my daughter was saying, SMD. If you don't know what SMD is, too bad. Find the kid, ask them. No child should have to go to bed at night afraid that they might be crushed in their sleep. No family should be displaced from their homes without security or safety. No human being should be afraid at all times, not knowing if their loved ones are dead or alive. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. It's just bringing back memories from my family. Citibank is one of the top funders of fossil fuel industry in the world. They finance the climate emergency. Citibank also is the largest foreign financial institute in Israel. They have been silent about the genocide. They are complete. You already know. Thank you. So for that, I tell Citibank, fuck you. Get off the fucking high horse. Get off the genocide. You've been genociding so many people. My island knows very well what genocide is. And I do not want no more future genocide, especially with these children that lost lives in Israel. I want everyone here today, everyone who believes in freedom, justice, and peace to know that I am with you. My family's with you. Even though my family's overseas now, we're here with you. We're fighting for freedom. We will keep going. We will not stop. We have your backs. We will keep fighting until our families are safe and free.
Yeah.
City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Get the fuck off your high horse.
Get the fuck off your high horse.
And do the right fucking thing. Thank you.
Give her a huge round of applause. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Please welcome our next speaker for today, Armenian-American author and organizer, Sister Nancy. Please give her a warm welcome.
unclear about which way to face. I don't know. As an Armenian American and the grandchild of Armenian genocide survivors, I am here to speak out against Citibank's past loan to underwrite Israel's purchase of U.S.-made stealth fighter jets that are being used against Palestinians in Gaza. And in addition, Citibank's current silence around Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza. I stand in solidarity with all of the wronged communities Citibank silently punishes, including the Armenian community in Los Angeles, who, though they have won a large settlement against Citi, have suffered from the bank's targeting and discrimination. That is never fully compensated by money alone. There is always historical accounting, and when Palestinians have achieved their freedom, Citibank will be on the list of corporations that have wronged an entire people. There will be an account of those who stood up against genocide and those who were silent partners, like Citibank.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Please give Nancy a huge round of applause. Citi, you can't hide.
Citi, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Citi, you can't hide.
Citi, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
As you guys are seeing, we have a huge and amazing lineup of speakers that are not only educating us about the atrocities that Citibank takes place in, but they're also giving us action items like the ones that were mentioned earlier. So please, the same paper that you guys all have has a QR code and has the link empowerchange.org/Citibank Gaza to ensure that you're able to call your reps, tweet at your reps, and send messages to your friends and family to let them know to take action against Citibank today and every single day. Yeah. Our next speaker is Sister Iman from the United States Campaign for Palestinian Rights. She's their advocacy and organizing director. Please give her a huge round of applause.
Citi, Citi, you can't hide.
Citi, Citi, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
My name is Iman, and I am a daughter of Palestine. Today is the 67th day of the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Over 18,000 Palestinians have been killed and millions have been forcibly displaced. In the 75 years since the Nakba, by every measure, this moment is the greatest loss of life and devastation in the history of the Palestinian people. Which is why today we are expanding our attention beyond Biden and bombs to the banking industry and institutions that actively participate and profit from the oppression of our people. Citibank is the largest and oldest foreign bank in Israel. The first American bank to normalize the financing of occupation and apartheid masked as a patron of high-tax startups. Citibank has had the opportunity to divest from the Israeli military occupation, but instead has continued to invest and profit from foreign military financing. Shame! Shame! In fact, a 2023 congressional report shows that Israel secured a loan with Citibank to purchase F-35 fighter jets from the U.S. defense contractor Lockheed Martin. Shame! These are the same weapon systems that are dropping bombs on Gaza today. Shame! Killing children and erasing entire families from the face of the earth. Citibank's financing supports and secures the violent ventures of the settler state. This is war profiteering at best. Many of you have personal or business accounts with Citibank, which reminds us that we all have a stake in this.
It is our duty to ensure that we are not investing our hard-working dollars into an institution that profits from the genocide of our people. Our collective dollars are the foundation of these institutions take for granted. But we have a choice, and we will make our voices heard. Financial institutions have been a powerful and strategic point of pressure in liberation movements. During the 1960s, Black liberation advocates launched a campaign to divest from institutions that upheld segregation. In the 70s and 80s, a 16-year-long campaign forced Barclays, the largest foreign bank, to withdraw from apartheid South Africa. A year later, Citibank was the last American bank to withdraw from South Africa. I say all of this to remind you that we have done this before, and we have collective power if we persist. Citibank sold the lives of Palestinians, South Africans, and Haitians for their own profit. But we demand that they pay the price for their inhumanity and divest from genocide, apartheid, and occupation. Blood is on their hands and on the hands of Congress, President Biden, and a world that has turned its back. Any institution actively participating in the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians will be held responsible. We commit ourselves today to this global movement for liberation, and we demand that Citibank divest from Israel and reparations to the Palestinian and Haitian people who they so directly harmed. We Palestinians deserve to live free of occupation, free of genocide. We won't allow people to define our dignity and our livelihood for us. We will not allow institutions to move forward with business as usual. Structures designed to uphold occupation and oppression have no place in our society. Our movement has grown tremendously, and this is a base that can move mountains. Thank you.
Please give our sister Iman another huge round of applause. Free, free, Palestine. Free, free, Palestine. Free, free, Palestine. City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
City, you can't hide.
City, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Palestine will never die.
Palestine will never die.
Please welcome our next speaker for the night, Executive Director of Empower Change, a Palestinian author, and a leader in the movement, Sister Linda Sarsoud.
Give it up to Abdullah Akid, who also works at Empower Change, and he is a son of South Brooklyn and now Staten Island. This is the young people that we're raising in our communities who are outside fighting for freedom, fighting for justice. There's a Mexican proverb that says, "They buried us, they did not know we were seeds." The incredible humans who came up here explained very explicitly why we are here and why Citibank and Citigroup are targets of this campaign. And I want to underscore the power that you have all had in the last 67 days. Because sometimes we are so immersed and overwhelmed by the bloodshed, by the videos of children being blown up to smithereens, by bombs paid for by the United States government with our taxpayer dollars. And we shame. And we are overwhelmed by the crying mothers and the fathers and the doctors and the nurses and those who are calling out to the international world to intervene, to stand up for humanity. And sometimes we don't see the light in all of that, because there has to be a silver lining, folks. There has to be something good that comes out of all this horror. And I'm already starting to see it happen. There's many entities that have to fund oppression and occupation and war around the world. And oftentimes those are governments. And they're also corporations. Sometimes they're religious entities. Sometimes it's the media, and sometimes it's all of those things that I just mentioned. And so when you're standing up against injustice, and you are calling on the world to be pro-diplomacy and anti-war, you can't just target one segment, you gotta target them all. So, Starbucks. I never understood why people drink Starbucks anyway. I mean, it just tastes like burnt water. I don't know how, and people were willing to pay $8, $9 for a cup of coffee, and then you would skip over your local coffee shop or Uncle Muhammad in the little kiosk who's selling you $1.50 coffee, but you'd rather pay $8 at Starbucks. But then the people woke up and said, no more Starbucks. And so, in 11 days, Starbucks lost $12 billion in profits. They have been removed from the Moroccan market. They are slowly dwindling, as you can probably imagine, in Arab and Muslim majority countries. And they're not really doing too well here in the United States either, even if you see a couple of folks standing at Starbucks. And so that is because of people power. That's because of people like you and me. I used to have old classic Pumas that I really wanted to wear, and then somebody one day told me that Puma was also complicit. And I was really upset about it, because Puma has also been complicit with the state of Israel and has been the longtime sponsor of the Israeli football team, putting their logo literally on occupation and apartheid. And then today, Puma was like, actually, we're not going to be doing that anymore. So I'm still mad because it took a little long, so I might not wear my Pumas right away. But the fact that these corporations are starting to see people like you all over the world that are saying, I have a personal responsibility not to be complicit in this oppression. So then Zara thought that they could put out a campaign, and let's just go with the Zara story. The Zara story is that they did the little photo shoot back in July, and then something happened in September, and then they put the campaign out last week. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Zara is a clothing store that offers clothing for men, women, and children. And they put out a campaign that literally was a photo shoot of a woman wearing a blazer around rubble and dust and wrapped up dead bodies. That's what I saw in the campaign. And so the people rose up and they said, what are you doing, Zara? We're not shopping at Zara anymore. So Zara just told us what side they were on. So Zara thought it was going to be a day or 2 or 3, and then you all were going to forget. And then you didn't forget. And then people reminded Zara. Then you publicly shamed Zara. And guess what Zara did? Zara was like, we apologize that we offended you. Here's the story, whether you believe it or not. The point is they felt pressured enough. They felt like they owed you an apology. They owed a response to you. And that campaign was pulled down from their website and from their Instagram account. So people will tell you, I work at a company and I might not really be able to say too much, Linda. I'm with you on this one, but you know how it is, like, I need to have a job. And I say to people all the time, and I do give a lot of people grace, but there's a lot of things that every individual could do. Nobody at your job knows whether or not you bank with Citibank. So if you are someone here who banks with Citibank, take your money out of Citibank. Because if you put your money in Citibank, that means you support the climate catastrophe. That means you support the oppression and the long-standing decimation of the incredible Haitian people and the beautiful country of Haiti. That means that you support the genocide and the occupation of the Palestinian people. Imagine you being a financial institution that says, oh, wait a minute, you don't got no money? I'll give you a loan to buy some fighter jets. Just imagine, that's the kind of positions that a financial institution like Citibank makes. And so when you watch those children, those men, women, children, families being bombed in Gaza, imagine that some of those fighter jets that are dropping these bombs on them were facilitated by a loan from this institution right over here. New York has been incredible. And it's cold outside right now. And right now, as you can see, we are right by the water here, so it's extra cold in this side of Manhattan. But you know where else it's cold and where it's going to get real cold and where it is on the sea? The Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is on the Mediterranean Sea. And those people not only don't have food and they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have fuel, they don't even have houses to protect them. They are living in plastic tents in refugee camps across the Gaza Strip, and it's about to be wintertime. 50% of Gaza is starving right now. And so we are in a moment in history, and we are at a crossroads as a country. Some of our friends today are by the United Nations. And this is the thing that I want you to take home with you today. The American people got to make a decision. You really do. Will you allow your government to continue to represent you on the world stage as someone who not only is complicit in genocide, is a supporter of genocide, funds genocide, and then denies the atrocities from the genocide that they are supporting? So as you know, the United States last couple of days ago vetoed a UN resolution for a humanitarian ceasefire. We were the only country that voted against it. Even our very good friend, the United Kingdom, who's always, you know, the United Kingdom and the US, they're like homies. They just walk straight. Wherever one goes, the other goes. Even the UK was like, yeah, no, we can't. Not this time. They actually abstained. They abstained. It's a cowardly position to take, but the fact that they didn't just go along with the United States says something about where we're going as a world leader in this world. So then Egypt and Mauritania came out and said, yeah, we're not playing this game anymore with the United States of America. And so Egypt and Mauritania, they invoked something called 377, which has only been used 13 times since the history of the beginning of the United Nations, and 5 of those times have been about Israel, of course. So that's happening now. There's a whole meeting that's happening right now. Basically, what that 377 does is it basically says you circumvent the UN Security Council, you bring the vote to everybody, and we just go with the majority. Now, let's be clear about the United Nations. This is a non-binding resolution, and that means that Israel could be like, I don't care what you think. You could tell me what you could say. You ceasefire, no ceasefire. I'm not listening to what you say. But that's the point is the record and the history record. So today, even some countries who usually won't vote for things like a ceasefire are going to vote for a ceasefire. And once again, the United States government is going to take a shameful position in front of the world. Once again, when it comes to 67 days of atrocity where over 21,000 people, we're not even going to know what the number is until sometime down the line this war is really over. And just to be clear, there has never been any discrepancies in the numbers before. And in fact, when there has been, it's because the numbers were lower than what they actually were. There are thousands of people under rubble. You have watched the people of Gaza with flip-flops and Adidas tracksuits moving rubble to take children and women and men and elderly and the disabled from under that rubble. So we don't even know the level of the catastrophe that we're seeing. So today, one world leader after another, one world leader, and the meeting goes on. It's going on right now. And the United States government is going to claim that they are representing the best interest of the American people. Because that's what you're supposed to do as a world leader. Your job, your whole job, is to make decisions that are supposed to be in the best interest of your citizens. And we know that the majority of the American people want a ceasefire. That's what I know. 80% of Democrats want a ceasefire. 66% of voters in general, regardless of party, want a ceasefire. But the President of the United States of America is taking a big risk in ignoring the heat of the American people. And I'm not telling you what to do. But at some point, the members of Congress who have not supported a ceasefire, your local state legislators who have not supported a ceasefire, your local members of the city council who have not supported a ceasefire, at some point, you cannot be represented by somebody that doesn't believe in the basic humanity of saying end bloodshed. That's the basics. And so I'm just here to say to New York City that you are amazing, because you could be outside every day. People in New York City be outside in 5 different places all at the same time. And that is what this silver lining is. That they have woken a sleeping giant. I knew that the majority of the people were good people. I believe that. And I give grace to people all the time. But something like this had to happen for the people to come outside. And what the people of Gaza are telling us, and you could just imagine, because you've watched the resilience and the perseverance and the grace that they had. They said to me many times before in the last 67 days, they said, listen, we see that you all are also heartbroken, just like we are. We know that you watch these videos and you see this bloodshed. We know. And we know that you worry about us. But we worry about you. And they mean us. They say, what are you going to do with this? Will you let our children's murders be in vain? Will our murders be in vain? Will the destruction of our homes, us losing everything we have, will that be in vain? And our movements are saying no. No. Because not only are we going to be outside until there is a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, that's the beginning. Then we're going to be outside to lift the blockade on Gaza. And then we're going to be outside to end the occupation of the Palestinian people. And so, Citibank, this is just the beginning for Citibank. This was just us coming to say, hello, how are you doing? You thought you were going to hide, and you've been hiding for decades. But no, you will not hide from us, Citibank. Not your executives. Let me tell you one more thing that people here didn't tell you about Citibank, because the outrageousness keeps going with Citibank. The finance minister of the state of Israel is probably one of the most outrageous human beings to live in this planet right now. And many of you know him, Minister Smotrich. He's so outrageous that even members of Congress were like, nah, we're not meeting with that guy. Like even the outrageous ones in Congress were like, we're not meeting with that guy. Citibank executives were like, why don't you come on over to our office? We will sit with you and we will have a conversation. Because Citibank cares more about profits than they care about principles and values. There should be no corporation in America sitting at the table with fascists. And not ones who are publicly fascist and publicly racist and publicly bigoted like Smotrich, who even Republicans were like, yeah, no, we'll meet with some of the fascists, but that one is even too fascist for us. I guess he wasn't fascist enough for Citibank, because they were sitting and having a great time with him. So that's how outrageous Citibank gets as we continue to think about what they've done. So I'm just here to say, listen, I have been, just the last week, I've been in so many places, Atlanta, and Norfolk, Virginia, and Virginia Beach, and I've been to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The people are outside. Harrisburg on Sunday, I went to the state capitol with them. I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, I didn't even know there was this many people that live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was amazing. The people are rising up in small towns in America and places like New York City. So we're onto something here, folks. We really are onto something. And the last thing that I'll say to you all is that even though I'm exhausted, and sometimes I'm like, what am I even doing here? And then I look at New York City and I see people outside, black, white, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, atheist, everybody outside. And I'm saying, you know what? These are the people that I'm going down in history with. We're the people, when they say, remember that time when those people were fighting to end the occupation and lift the blockade on Gaza? Just like we talk about the people who ended South African apartheid, and we say the students and the civil rights organizations and the religious leaders who went outside and the people who sacrificed, guess who they're going to be talking about in 25, 30 years? Us. Us. They're going to talk about us. They're going to talk about the celebrities and the folks that came outside and said, I stand against apartheid. I stand against genocide. So when it gets hard out there, just know that you got solace that one day your great-grandchild is going to say to you, where were you when they were slaughtering the children of Gaza? Where were you when there was that genocide? That was horrific, because them videos are going to be online forever and everybody's going to watch them and learn about them. And you're going to say, me, I was outside. Me, I said something. Me, I was banking with Citibank. I pulled my account out of Citibank. I stopped drinking Starbucks. I held corporations accountable. I came to the rallies. I organized my friends. I was taking action. Anybody told me write an email, I wrote an email. The bottom line, sisters and brothers, whatever risk you think you're making, you are not making anywhere near the risks that the people of Palestine are taking every single day to do something as simple as defend their homeland and their children. And so I just want to say to all of you, thank you. Thank you for being outside. Thank you for being hope for the Palestinian people. We have been a people that have been all on our own. And for black folks, you know this because I learned this from you. Not all your skin folk are your kinfolk. Because we also got Muslim and Arab nations that sell us out too. So don't think we don't recognize that, we don't understand that. We want you to know that we felt alone for a long time. And that is why the Palestinian people, we only have less than 15% of our original homeland. Because everybody turned their back on us. So now we are in a moment where we're coming together. We're being united by our principles and values. And one of the things that gives me solace is that one day all of us are going to go to the Holy Land. We're going to go to Palestine together. And we're going to see what true freedom and justice looks like by people of conscience all over the world. So free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
This website here is probably easier for folks to remember, bankingonsolidarity.org. Tell your friends about it. Talk to people about it. Give people action items to do. Because I think something that Serena said that's really important is going to the rally is important. Being outside is important, and never underestimate your power as an individual. Because I know a lot of people are like, I'm cold, I'm not really feeling that well today. You know what? Nobody's going to miss me at the rally. But imagine if like everybody said that. Because mass mobilization is 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is mass mobilization. And so don't ever underestimate and say, I don't matter. No, you matter. Yourself, your whole body matters when you're outside. Trust me right now, Citibank is like, okay, now they went to Starbucks. Looks like they started with us now. Don't think that somebody's not having a meeting right now in there. Because Citibank is not only one of the largest financial institutions in Israel, it's one of the largest in the world. And if we raise enough awareness about the hypocrisy and the complicity of Citibank in the climate catastrophe, in Haiti, in Palestine, guess what? You perk ears up all over the world. And so if the Moroccans start saying, oh yeah, Citibank, this is not going to work, right? And other people in other parts of the world say this is not going to work, we can help either Citibank fails, or at least is hurt financially, or you might get to a point where Citibank says, we're going to change course. You know what? You might be right. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to change our ways. So we can't do that unless you all stay involved. So go to bankingonsolidarity.org. That is a website that's going to take you also to the Empower Change website, which is a Muslim-led online organizing platform. We have over 800,000 members from around the country. Our members, of course, are diverse, lots of Muslim members, but of course allies as well. So keep doing the work. So this was like a little organizing thing. And everybody met City. Hi, City. Because we're going to be back for City. Because they got a lot of headquarters. We got friends across the country who are going to do their own actions at City headquarters in their own cities. And I just want to say that I'm proud of all of you. I'm literally looking around and I literally seen almost every single one of you somewhere else at another rally somewhere else. In D.C., in New York, in Washington Square Park, in Union Square, in Times Square, in Grand Central Station. I mean, it is incredible. And you actually, this particular group of people is what we call the consistent ones, the ones that always want to be outside. You're the ones that are always on Instagram like, what's happening tomorrow? Because that's where I want to be. So I love you all. We appreciate you. And Citibank, we're coming back. Is there anybody here who's part of another group that has any actions this week that wants to share with folks? Anybody here with another group? Yeah, tell me. How do they raise people?
Linda.
Yep.
Roanoke, Virginia, every night we are handing out bulletins. We are talking about genocide. We are answering questions about how people in Roanoke, Virginia can make a difference. And
you heard that, folks? Roanoke, Virginia.
We drove 8 hours to get here with our hearts and with our feet.
And your beautiful flag and your beautiful keffiyeh. Give out, I mean, come on, folks. Y'all came from the Bronx and Brooklyn. This brother came from Roanoke, Virginia. You got to give this brother something.
Yes, we mean business.
Yes, he means business.
Ana Dani Palestini.
That's right. He said, Ana Demi Falastini, which means my blood is Palestinian. That's a good one. He just reminded me. I used to love to say that. We are all Palestinians.
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 Who else is from another group here that wants to share an action that they're doing?
I am. Yeah.
You want to tell them?
Thank you so much. I'm with Extinction Rebellion. We have a protest every week, Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30, right here against cities' investment in ecocide. So genocide and ecocide, they're the third largest investor in fossil fuels in the world, and we're not going to be around in 20 years if we don't try to stop that. Thank you, Linda. Every Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30, right here.
So that's the good kind of consistency, right? So they don't forget. Every Thursday for 1 hour, if you are from this area, you around this area, you're going to join our friends here outside Citibank.
We have to demand that our Congress people support a ceasefire. We've been putting a lot of pressure in Brooklyn on Dan Goldman, and we've been putting a lot of total asshole, and we've been putting a lot of pressure on Yvette Clarke. So I want to see everybody. 12:14. That is on Thursday at 9 a.m. at Yvette Clarke's office, and we're going to tell her what she's got to do, or she's not ever. I'm talking for myself. She's not ever getting my vote.
Hi, I'm here from the Bronx. On Friday, this Friday, we are going to be assembling. I'm with the Bronx Anti-War Coalition.org. We will be assembling outside of his office, and we're going to tell him exactly what we think of his AIPAC puppet.
That's right.
Be there with us.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
Don't engage folks who are mad about being supporters of genocide. That's what happens with these folks. So you all have heard we got friends that are going to be outside Dan Goldman's office 9 o'clock on Thursday. We got folks that are going to be outside of Richie Torres' office in the Bronx. This is, Yvette Clarke's office 9 o'clock. So Thursday, Yvette Clarke's office. Actually, Yvette Clarke needs to be right here with us outside Citibank because she's also Haitian, if I'm not mistaken. So we need to give her a little education about this situation. But anyway, Brooklyn's going to be outside of Yvette Clarke's office 9 o'clock on Thursday. I mean, imagine that you're a Democrat from Brooklyn and you still don't support something as basic as a ceasefire. I mean, I mean, it's just beyond me. And I'll just say this to folks just so you know where I stand on this situation. I want all these people to support a ceasefire. But once we got to like day 3, anybody that supported a ceasefire, that still hasn't supported a ceasefire even 3-4 days into the retaliation, I got you on the list. Because I will never forget. I will never forget that we are 67 days and still trying to convince people about something as simple as ending the bloodshed after you have watched the slaughter of men, women, and children in Gaza. I'm not going to do that. One thing that I'll, remind all of you just to kind of keep you fired up is that there has been many atrocities that have happened in the world, right? Gaza is not the only genocide that has happened. We can go from the Cambodian genocide to the Holocaust to Darfur to Bosnia to Rwanda to Bangladesh. I mean, I could sit here for days and name many times that this world has been evil and inhumane towards a group of people. What makes this moment different is that we are watching it in real time, live, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there is no one in this world right now that can say they did not know what was happening in Gaza. There is no one that can say I didn't know the level of the atrocity, because you are watching it in real time, unfiltered from content creators and people who live and are in Gaza without any commentary. They just show it to you. And so we want you to know, and as you talk to people in your lives, this is not a moment where you could say 30 years from now when someone asks you, where were you? You can't say, I didn't know. Because you definitely knew. So for those people who still don't support a ceasefire, you are also complicit 67 days later in the slaughter of the Palestinian people. The other thing that I will say about this particular, as you're talking to people and convincing folks who are leaning in, here's another thing that makes this one different. I mean, there's been other examples, but right now, people will say to me, as you know, I have a lot of enemies, just so you all know, but I got all the right ones, just to be clear. They'll say to me, why are you so obsessed with the State of Israel? State of Israel is not the only country in the world that commits violations of human rights. That's the argument that people make. So what I say to people is that I know that. I know that there are other countries that engage in the violation of workers, of women, of minorities. I know that. Like in places like North Korea, like against Uyghur Muslims in China. But guess what, folks? I don't fund that. So the reason why I'm obsessed with the State of Israel, number one, is because I'm Palestinian. But number two, it's because I am complicit in what the State of Israel is doing to Palestinians. So for all of you who get those arguments about why the State of Israel, because you are paying for what the State of Israel is doing. And the reason why we are outraged at Joe Biden specifically, who continues to double down, and I'm going to tell you one more thing that might have went over your heads this weekend that he did as well, is that Joe Biden is the sugar mama for the State of Israel, just like the United States has been since 1948. And let me tell you what that means. Joe Biden and presidents before him absolutely have leverage over the State of Israel. Because if someone's paying your bills, must have some sort of leverage over you. I promise you, if Joe Biden picked up the phone and said to Netanyahu, if you don't stop this right now, you will never see a check from the United States of America. You best to believe that the State of Israel would change some sort of course, because they cannot maintain an occupation and a siege without U.S. military funds. That's number one. Joe Biden this weekend circumvented a procedure in Congress that requires congressional approval to sell an arms deal to Israel. So they were like, oh, apparently there's a rule we don't have to follow, and we could circumvent that and go straight to the full Congress to get what we want to sell these deals. Which means that rule probably does apply to some other things that he could be doing. But apparently he doesn't know how to use the rules for justice, for health care, for other things that we need for housing and affordable housing. But when it comes to arms deals and selling weapons during an active genocide, this is not a sales that you did 8 months ago or last year. You're selling literally an arms deal right now to the State of Israel during an active genocide. That is what Joe Biden just did this past weekend. And right now, so we were the only veto and the only no vote in the UN Security Council. We then go to Congress and do some political maneuver to get an arms deal passed for the state of Israel. And then today, we're at the UN right now, parroting Israeli government talking points and saying we're not going to support a humanitarian ceasefire. And so the outrage of this administration continues. So just keep that in mind, because we have to, and I'm going to share this last quick story before you all go home, because we're going to send you our next steps when it comes to city. This is exhausting, but I'm going to tell you a story about a man that you might have heard the story, but I like to tell the story because it's very inspiring for me. During the Vietnam War, there was an old man that used to stand outside of the White House every single day for the entire duration of the Vietnam War. And he stood outside with a candle. So a journalist saw him the first day, saw him the second day, came back a week later, the same guy was still there. Came back 2 weeks later, and the guy was still there. So the journalist goes up to the old man and he says to him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm here opposing the Vietnam War. I'm here." And he said, "Do you really believe that you standing here by yourself with this candle is going to change anything or change people in the White House?" So the man looked at him really confused. He said, "Wait a minute. I don't stand out here because I think that I'm going to transform anybody in there. I stand here because I won't let them transform me. I won't let them change me." And so when you come outside and when you continue to post about Palestine or post about injustice against minorities or other marginalized people, it's not that your own post is what's going to transform the world or change the world. It's you making a declaration that you will not allow these people who are oppressors and opposing our community to change you. And so every day when I wake up, I try to do as much as I can to do one important thing for myself, to maintain my own humanity in all of this. So that's your goal. Every time you feel like you're not doing enough, tell yourself, I'm maintaining my own heart. And I'm never, ever going to be a person that will ever justify the murder of innocent people, no matter the consequences, no matter the circumstances. I will never, ever, ever be a person that will continue to, be silent in the face of injustice. That's it. That's the maintaining of your own humanity. So go home, my beautiful humans, and then we will see you on the streets of New York City very soon. Maybe outside Yvette Clarke's office at 9 o'clock on Thursday.
So after you go to Yvette Clarke's office Thursday morning, you can come to Manhattan Thursday evening. It's the last night of Hanukkah, and If Not Now is going to be hosting an action targeting Representative Jerry Nadler.
You want to get the building in the background?
No, I just want to get
Okay.
Often says and does good things with...
So you said you drove 8 hours from Virginia.
Yes, we left at 6 o'clock this morning.
Tell me why.
Because we can't be silent, because I have been to the South Hebron Hills. I have visited the children, and they were just like my Boy Scouts. They did exactly what my scouts would have done when I was the scout leader for 16 years. There's no difference between the scouts in America and the children in South Hebron Hills. They are created equal. B'Tselem Elohim. The Jewish principle of equality is being violated by a country that claims to have some religious principles. This is not of God. This is not of humanity. This is a desecration of my own soul, and I can't stand it. And I will never be silent.
And what do you make of these politicians who continue their support for Israel, despite how many innocent Palestinians have been killed?
They think they're guaranteeing a vote because they're pandering to the lukewarm people. They are seeing money before they see people. And we must approach them to show that we are all losing when we support any marginalization. I mean, this country fought a civil war for one segment of the population to be equal, and now our country is standing blind and deaf and dumb to the desecration of another people. How can we have any integrity as Americans when we forget our own history?
And do you think the tide is turning where people who have previously supported Israel are now supporting Palestine?
I am 77 years old. I was born the year after the UN was formed. I've been lied to all of my life. We are waking up. Old folks, young folks, realize that we're being had, we're being bought, we're being lied to. And this will not just be a problem having to do with the children and the bomb and the desecration of Israel. This is a turning point for our nation and for the world to recognize that money is not equality, that destroying the environment in the name of oil or in the name of profit is a lose-lose proposition. We've got to see that our peace dividend does not come by investing in bombs. We've got to recognize that the zero-sum argument doesn't hold water, that desecrating one group of people does not make another group of people any better off. They all lose, and we are tired of losing. I'm sick and tired as an American of having faith in some kind of supremacy, some kind of superiority that never existed. And I am outraged that we've been lied to and we've been had. And so for the rest of my life, I will share with the younger population that they don't have to take this lie any longer.
Can I get your name again?
My name is Jim Best, B-E-S-T.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Sam Rasool is my hero.
Who's that?
Sam Rasool.
Who's
He's
that?
the only Muslim delegate in the General Assembly in Virginia.
I'm glad you made it to this
Thank you. It's nice meeting you.
Right. And once the numbers together.
All right, guys. I'll find maybe one or two more people to speak with here.
What news outlet do you run?
Status Coup.
Status Coup?
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Were you here at the protest?
Yes, I was.
You want to do an interview really quick?
I don't have anything planned, but I guess, sure.
Yeah,
Why
cool.
not?
Just, so, tell me what brings you out here today.
I don't know. I couldn't stay silent. I couldn't, just sit by and not do any action while so much happens overseas and so much bloodshed. I couldn't, I couldn't just stay quiet in my house. Yeah.
And what do you think about these politicians who are supporting Israel in this genocide?
Honestly, sorry. I mean, you don't have to bleep this out. I think it's fucking gross. It's fucking gross. You think even people that I'd think would stand up like a Bernie Sanders or a Hakeem Jeffries, they're at most, I mean, at least when it started, it was Israel has the right to defend itself. It's you go on CNN and you see Democratic politicians saying like all these there's no such thing as innocent Palestinian, they're all Hamas. It's fucking gross. It's disgusting. Yeah.
And do you think more people are now supporting Palestinians than before?
I mean, me personally, I knew about the struggle, but I have some friends that didn't know the whole story and would hear things like, oh, Israel was attacked, and after I've educated them, then they've started to learn, and honestly, I think that's happening a lot more. The progress that I see, as someone who's so detached from the whole thing, is inspiring. So I think that, there's definitely some progress being made, but we have a long way to go.
Thank you. Can I get your first name?
Jay.
Jay?
Yeah,
Very much,
I live in
Jay.
Brooklyn. Thank you.
Good talking to you.
I appreciate it.
All right, I do want to find Linda before she goes. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for any super chats. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming members. If you haven't done so already, please smash the like button, share this stream. Linda's here, so I'm gonna wait for her to. Yeah.
So sorry. What was the name one more time? Of your...
Status Coup. You can take a picture of the.
Yeah, let me get it. You're on YouTube, you said?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Oh my.
Sorry guys, this was a quick rally, quick protest. It is cold, it's windy. Everybody's tired. There was another protest at the UN earlier this afternoon. Might be still going on, I'm not too sure. So workers here at Citibank headquarters are now leaving work. Linda, you have a moment?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just get my questions here. Okay. All right. So I know you spoke about it before, but what did you think? What were your thoughts when the U.S. was the only one to veto that resolution last week?
When the United States vetoed the resolution in the UN Security Council, it was just another moment of feeling so much shame to be an American. You know, as an American, I want people to look at my country and say that we are the stalwarts of justice and freedom. And here's my country saying we don't support something as simple as ending bloodshed after watching thousands and thousands of civilians, almost half of them children, literally blown up to pieces. I mean, I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was horrified. I cried. It's even though I knew it was gonna happen, it's no surprise to me. But again, after this many days of a genocide, at some point you would think somebody would say something got to change.
Right. And you know, so many politicians were so outspoken about Russia's war crimes in Ukraine, but now they're supporting Israel's war crimes. So why do you think that is?
I think the United States government only thinks about their own self-interest. And right now, we all know that Russia is like their axis of evil, like they're just their, arch nemesis kind of thing. And so it's easier for them to speak up against an enemy and say, here's war crimes, and not want to do that to their ally or to their, quote, friend. And that's what I say to people all the time, the hypocrisy when watching what's happening between Ukraine and Russia and what's happening with the Palestinians and the Israeli government. It's like the same thing. You're cheering on the Ukrainian people defending their homeland, right? Resisting Russian occupation. That is exactly what the Palestinian people are under the occupation of the Israeli government. These are people resisting and defending their land and their homeland. So my thing is like, I'm not even against Ukrainians doing that. I'm not one of those people. I'm supporting the Ukrainian people. Why can't we support both? And I think what's happening now is the young people are seeing that hypocrisy. There's a new generation out here right now that is making me so hopeful that they will not fall for the historic nonsense of the United States of America, this idea that they're always on the wrong side of history, and the young people are using social media, they're educating themselves, and they are being public with their position on what's happening in Palestine right now.
That will lead to my next question. Do you think the tide is turning where people who previously supported Israel are now supporting Palestine?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, the bottom line is not a lot of people really understand this issue. It's a geopolitical issue. It's somewhere around across the world. Now people are finding out, wait a minute, what do you mean I'm the one that funds this? People will see a video of a child blown up and they'll already think it's horrific because that's a human nature. But then imagine when you find out that the bomb that was dropped on that house was paid for by your U.S. taxpayer dollars. The people aren't having it anymore. And social media is allowing us to reach people beyond the Western media. The Western media has always been biased in this conflict. For example, they'll say things like, Israeli civilians were killed by Hamas terrorists. And then they'll say the Palestinians died, as if we just dropped dead. language is important, and what's happening on social media is people are using the right language. They're saying genocide. I mean, there are entire Palestinian families who have been erased from the registry. That's an ethnic cleansing. And so we're not saying to people, value one people's life over the other. We're saying, what if all civilian lives matter? What if we're horrified when Israeli civilians are murdered and also when Palestinian civilians are murdered? That just sounds like the most basic common sense and common humanity thing. That's all we're asking for. I'm not asking people to choose. I'm saying, aren't you outraged that these children are living like this, that they could literally be murdered at any second? And that's what we're calling for. And I believe that most people and most Americans believe that.
Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you. So if you see, one of the workers came out with a Palestine scarf, waving it around. He just came out of the city headquarters bank. Maybe I could get one more person to speak with before I end this live stream. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Would anybody want to do an interview?
Want to do what? For
Interview?
what?
Status Coup, where I'm live on YouTube right now.
I'm good.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right. All right, guys, I think I'm going to cut it off here. It's getting cold and people are leaving. So I will be live again on Thursday. New York City workers are going out to protest, I believe, at Foley Square on Thursday evening. So look out for a notification about that. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Also, hey, Rachel, right? Yeah. Do you have time for a quick interview?
Sure.
Status Coup, we're on YouTube.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you very much. All right, so what were your thoughts when the U.S. was the only country to veto the resolution last week?
There was a veto last week? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you, because right now can we pause this for real quick?
Yeah, I'm live right now, but you want me to ask another question? Yeah, so what do you think about these politicians who continue their support for Israel despite how many innocent Palestinians have been killed?
Well, trying to keep it clean because I curse a lot. That's so okay. You can say they're fucking assholes. Like, you're genociding places that you're killing kids. There's kids there that have died. It's like, what happens? Put yourself in their shoes. Your family's over there. They bomb your family. How would you feel? Like, stop the genocide. Stop doing what the fuck you're doing and realize you're funding stuff that you're killing innocent people. Like, these kids have nothing to do with whatever these adults are doing. Yeah. Nothing at all. And you still, it's only 100,000 kids. Kids. We're talking about our future. Okay. And for what?
And what kind of democracy do we live in where millions of people all over the country want a ceasefire, but yet these politicians won't call for one?
They're more worried about their pockets. That's what, to be honest, that's what they are worried about, their pockets. Because if we're saying ceasefire, meaning stop the killing, but yet you need for them to continue killing because you're getting the money for them to keep buying the bullets, buying the planes. doing all this other stuff, but you're not realizing you're killing innocent people for what? Like, again, it's for money. You're worried about, okay, we need to do all these cuts, but let's not cut the military. That doesn't make any sense. If you really want to help the communities and our people out, do the ceasefire. Get our people out of there. Get these innocents out of there. These kids that already are orphaned because parents already died. That parents that lost their kids, they're grieving. There's barely any food for anybody to eat because you're bombing everything. For what? For you to have what? A couple of more dollars in your pocket? You're not going to die with that money. When you're gone, where's the money going to go to? Like, realize, wake the fuck up and see that you're doing shit that makes no sense. We're asking for a ceasefire. Stop the killing. Because all you're doing is separating families, killing families, making our families separate here from the U.S. because you need to send military from the U.S. over there. And what's going to happen? You're still genociding everybody. For what? It makes no sense.
Thank you for taking the time, Rachel. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. All right, guys. That's it for me tonight. Thank you for watching. You will see me again on Thursday. And have a good night.